This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Sessions with Scott and where are we at?
This is the K-Gun Report, Swank. The K-Gun Report.
I was all confused because Jarrod's not here yet.
Rumor has it he's on his way.
He'll be here
He's on
shortly.
his way.
He'll be
His
here
little guy
shortly.
had a baseball game
Yeah.
today, so it's his first one. Couldn't miss it. But welcome, Mafia. We're here.
Yeah,
Swank,
cool.
you're here.
Hell
there you
yeah.
go. I don't have little. We don't have the little ones that play games yet. We don't have anybody that plays those sporting events yet, and mine usually on Saturdays and Sundays, so it makes Tuesdays a little easier.
Yeah, for sure.
And your dogs don't play, do they?
They play all the time, but right now they're resting.
There you go. Well, Mafia, Fandemonium, welcome to the K-Gun Report. As you know, we air live every Tuesday at 8 p.m., 8:15 tonight because things are the way they are and they get delayed sometimes. So welcome. The comments are already coming in like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Swank, let us know who's watching with us already, guys. It's crazy the amount of participation.
We got Joshua Williams saying, hey, let's go Buffalo. We got our boy Rob Mullen. Patrick Hughes was in there earlier saying, what's up, Mafia? We got our Regs, John Johns. We got Berto saying, hey, everyone, go Bills. Tons of people in here today. This will get us all the way to when Jarrod decides to come in, man. It'll be great. Chris Christian said, to our number one rated Bills, let's go Buffalo. Joey Hatch Jr., what's up, Bills fans? Ellen Lartz, let's go Buffalo. Why can't the season start this weekend? I miss football. Us too, man. This is like
you ain't kidding.
That hard chunk of time, I feel like, where there was just enough going on with the draft, and now it's kind of like just simmering.
Well, and the NFL likes to do this thing. They've made it so there's something happening every couple of weeks. Obviously, the draft was a couple weeks ago. Tomorrow, actually, the 12th will be the schedule release, which we're all excited about. Who knows? Bills might have 4 or 5 primetime games. We don't know yet, but there was one that leaked. We do have our second week Monday Night Football game against the Tennessee Titans. Swank, I think it's an awesome choice for the second week. And the Bills have lost to them 2 consecutive years. So it's becoming a little bit of a rivalry. And to have them coming to Buffalo so early at home, fans got to be pumped.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was excited about that one. I'm glad that it's going to be home this time. You know, I feel like we've gotten hosed with that in KC games as of late. They've all just been away.
Right.
So it'll be nice to have them come into Highmark and see what's up. That'll be a fun one. I know my buddy Kyle just got season tickets, and he's super excited for it. So be good.
So, and I know we're all planning on going to the home. It was going to be the home opener, but fittingly, it might not work all that great now because I can't see the first week being in Buffalo. What that would do for the Bills would have 2 week first week home games with 15 games remaining and only 6 home games after that. So that'd be a lot of away games in that long spread. So if the NFL wants to screw the Bills over, they'll give them a home game the first week, but I don't see that happening. I can actually see them traveling to the Rams for that Thursday night game. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
That's yeah. I mean, that's the big rumor right now, right? Everybody wants that opening Thursday night game in LA against the Rams. There's a bunch of good storylines. The Von Miller storyline, the Bills being the number one bet on odds favorite for Super Bowl champs this early on. Yeah, it would be awesome. I would say what I've been hearing a lot on the radio, and I think it's interesting, is that when they announced the Titans game, they announced it as the Week 2 matchup. There's another game going on that night. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing. Also kind of an early game, not too much later than the Bills start. But they announced that as their home opener. So there's a lot of speculation about if the Bills would have announced it as their home opener, then you wouldn't be thinking that there might be another home game week 1, right?
Right.
Where the Eagles were just forthcoming with that. So is that a league thing? Is that a team thing? You know, who knows? And is everybody reading too much into it? Personally, I kind of lean towards that. Like, I'm reading too much into it. I kind of think it's going to be home week 1.
2 home games right in a row, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I know with the 17-game schedule, it's a little more avoidable, and I like the balance. I like the every other or, stack 2 here or there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting, man. We'll see. We got Oh, sorry.
There's a lot of ways to look at it. You can start off hot by winning a whole bunch of games at home and just riding that wave, or like I mentioned earlier, you got 2 home games right away. The rest of the 15, out of those 15, 6 are only home. That's going to be tough, but the Bills can handle it, I believe. Go ahead. Lady
Sure.
Bills is with us.
We got Lady Bills. We got Paulette Brown, Dan O'Gorman. We got Patrick Hughes saying that he's sad to see Jerry leave, but glad he got signed. Me too, man. Him and Addison down in Houston. I think that's kind of fun, man.
Yep.
It's kind of like the old version of Shaq and Jordan Phillips, right? Just wandering around together in the NFL. We got Lonnie Cook, man. We got so many. We got Kevin. We got brother Brent Thomason saying, "Crack 'em." We are, sir. We absolutely are. Josh,
We're
Cook.
actually they're not our sponsor tonight, but Genesee Specialty, Genesee Brewery here in Rochester, they have their Kolsch out. This is a new one this year. It's tropical pineapple. We're not all about fruit in our beer, Swank, but this doesn't taste that bad.
Hey, man. I've had a lot worse. It's tasty.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. And Lady Bills, thanks for saying hey. A reminder next week, guys. As you know, the K-Gun Report goes live every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Because our schedule comes out in 2 days, we're actually going to have a reaction show on Tuesday, and the super fans themselves are actually going to join us for that episode, so we can get their thoughts and opinions on, the Monday night game, the other primetime games that are possibly going to happen. I personally believe we're going to have like 4 or 5. Swank, let me know when I'm done talking here. And no, it's always awesome to get their perspective because they're always there. They're always at the home games. They're across from the Hammer Lot, so you can go to Hammer Lot and do their thing, or you can go say hi to the super fans across the street. But either way, it's an awesome time. And like I said, I'm taking my 5-year-old this year for the first time, and he already knows we're going to go pregame a little bit. Obviously, he's not going to pregame that much. And then we're going to go see the super fans, which he's super pumped about. How many primetime games do you think we're going to have, Swank?
I'm leaning on 5, man. I mean, I think there's too much hype around this team, and I think you can't ignore it. I think they're more exciting than the Chiefs right now. Is there another team that's more exciting in the NFL than the Buffalo Bills right now? Is there another team that has more superstars, more weight, better managed, better coached? I mean, it's a good time to be a Bills fan.
The answer to that question is no. No.
Exactly.
And today's show, we're actually going to discuss why we're so awesome. Our depth chart is crazy good. There isn't a better team. There isn't a better roster. And we're actually going to discuss the offensive side of the ball, the acquisitions, whether it was free agency or the NFL draft, and why this team. I didn't think this offense could get much better. And with what they've done in this offseason so far has blown my mind.
Yeah. I can't wait to get into it. I'm kind of trying to stall out so we can get our boy in here. But, there was a really funny thing that just came through. Lady Bill says that your boy can do Mountain Dew shot skis with Bill's kids.
Oh, yeah. I've talked to the Bills' kids' parents, and I told them I had a 5-year-old, and they like, you think Jack would want to do a little? Because the Bills' kid does wonderful things for charities, and he does a lot of videos. He does a lot of awesome stuff, and Brooke and Chaz over there said, hey, does your 5-year-old want to do something with him? And I told my son, and he's like, yeah, I want to do something with him. He goes, nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. And I was like, perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. But he hasn't had Mountain Dew yet, so that might be the first time he actually dabs into that.
Dude, I can't believe that you guys I guess you guys are good parents, man, because I can't believe they haven't had Mountain Dew yet. Brent Thomason said we should be maxed out at 5 primetime games. Kevin says 5. Troy says 4. Kevin also says Kiki is in the house. What's up, Kiki?
Kiki. Who's Kai? Oh, Kai. Kiki.
I said Kiki. Man, I messed up his last name. God, man. Now I can't remember from the draft show. I'm sorry, man.
All right, we should get started. Jarrod will join us here shortly.
Dan says when he gets here, we should just act like the show just finished.
Oh yeah, right. He's probably stressing out right now, watching on his phone. Believe it or not.
We gotta go.
Jarrod, if you're watching, message me when you get on because I have our little feed on the small screen, so I won't be able to see if you're waiting to come in. Kiki, thanks.
Kiki.
Jackie, okay.
Did I say it wrong? I probably said it wrong.
No, you said Kiki. I said Kai, and then
see,
I
always
got
trust the Swank. These reads always read shit. God damn.
All right, let's talk offense.
All right.
as I said before, I cannot believe this offense got better than it did last year. But with the acquisitions to the line, we've addressed everything: offensive line, quarterback, backup quarterback, running back, tight ends, and wide receivers. I mean, that's all that's on that offensive side of the ball, and a punter. Holy moly, forgot about the punter. But let's start off with the offensive line, Swank. Right now, our current starters are Deion Dawkins. I think Roger Saffold, the pickup in free agency from the Tennessee Titans, is going to be the left guard. Mitch Morse at center. Ryan Bates, who is a guy that's played for Buffalo for a couple of years, and I think he's finally earned his opportunity to be a starter. He's been kind of a utility guy for his years here in Buffalo, and like I said, he's finally deserved it. He's got a 4-year contract. He'll be manning that right guard position. And then our man, the guy with the attitude, the guy we all love, that monster at 6'8", Spencer Brown.
Yeah.
I personally believe that this offensive line, yes, John Feliciano was a staple in this line, but after that injury to the shoulder and the COVID thing, I didn't see him being the same player he had been before. And Darrell Williams, obviously the Bills brought in a couple years ago for the right tackle position, but because of injury and all that stuff, he ended up being a right guard, but they were paying him tackle money. And I just think he did a good job, but I think they could have improved, and I think they did. What are you thinking about this offensive line, Swank?
I mean, I think it's very, very much improved from last year. I think that maybe some of it wasn't splash moves, but smart moves. Patrick Hughes just brought up O.J. Howard, man. I think that he's one of the sneaky signings from this draft or from the free agency period that like people forget about. That dude, not only is he going to be catching balls and you're going to have to like defend against that possibility, but he's going to be throwing blocks out there like crazy. I could see Cook breaking a nice big one on the edge from a nice O.J. Howard block, But I think Quessenberry is probably like my favorite signing. A Pro Bowl offensive lineman from a run-first, run-heavy team. I know he gets a little bit of a slap on the wrist for some pass protection. I gotta believe that that gets straightened out a little bit when you have one of the highest rated passing teams in the NFL that, you're guarding that quarterback, and you better do it, or else he won't be out there very much. They'll just rotate him or whatever.
Right, and we have Ike Boeker back there, back there that will replace him if they have to.
Yes, sir. But I think I don't know. It was such a smart way to shore it up and to tweak it and not to change it so much that you have a bunch of rookies coming in that the continuity would kind of flow out. I think you signed a Pro Bowler. You signed one of his teammates to be a backup to Bates. You got Spencer Brown, who's going to be a wrecking ball in this league for 12 years. Like,
yep.
The dude's nasty. And then you got that home run homer offensive line pick in the sixth. That's like another Spencer Brown. Two giants back there. The crazy thing I feel about, and it's any position group on this team, is that the room is so good, the team is so good, the culture is so good, the coaching is so good that any of these dudes have a chance if they put the work in. Am I wrong?
Nope, you're right. You're right. And on that offensive line, Cromer's coming in. He used to be a Bill offensive lineman, and Eric Wood could not say enough about him, his teaching, and how he can get to the players. And he does. He's able to coach a whole bunch of different line techniques and players, which I think is probably one of the big reasons why Cody Ford is still on our roster. New coach, new player. You never know how Cody Ford will adjust. I didn't like what they did with Cody Ford, putting him at right tackle when he was a guard all along, and they kind of moved him about. I think he's not going to get his fair share of snaps this year, but he may potentially develop into something a little better than he had been in the past and a reliable depth guy. But I've said it time and time again, Swank. We don't know what kind of offense Ken Dorsey's going to bring to the table. We just don't. We know he was, under Dable, so we know he's going to kind of figure out the same kind of offensive scheme. But he's brought in two guards, as you mentioned, in Saffold and Casenberry, who can also play the tackle on heavily running teams. And the guy they drafted from Virginia Tech, Luke Tenuta, is a 6'9", 322-pound run blocker as a tackle. And in 2020, his offense averaged 240 yards rushing a game. So that kind of tells you what this offense might look like as far as offensive line goes. But I'm pumped. I thought the depth was great. I think it's telling a lot of what Ken Dorsey's going to do with this offense, but we won't know until preseason starts when you start seeing something. But you know what else is exciting about Ken Dorsey in this offense?
Yeah.
There's no film on him.
Yeah.
You have defensive coordinators that are going to have a hard time figuring out offenses that have been the same offense for years. You've got a guy now coming into the league who's obviously been under Dable and all that stuff. They have no film on what his antics are, what he does majority of the time on 3rd and 1. His all that stuff is so unpredictable that it's going to make that offense even more potent and unpredictable, and that's exciting. That's exciting as well.
I kind of think that if he's smart, and I believe he is smart, it will be predictable. I think that in those 3rd and short situations, the predictability is that you let Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does. You let him make the right call. You turn the game over to him in situations where you need a superstar to make a play. And if Ken Dorsey can have that kind of trust, the way I think he does, and the way that I don't think Dable 100% did, that's going to be the difference to me.
Right.
As long as he doesn't try to box Josh Allen in and make him do non-Josh Allen things, like he could be, we said it months ago when he got signed and hired and promoted. He could be a head coach in 2 years if he just lets Josh be Josh.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I agree. And I don't want what? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest coming in.
Oh.
And I don't want to lose my train of thought here. What's up, Jarrod? What you're hoping is you hope the Tomlin effect doesn't come into the Ken Dorsey coaching. You know, Ken Dorsey has been given the china, the best platter there is, the silverware, the cups, everything. He's got the.
You're talking about dinnerware,
not the country dinnerware, and he just has to prepare the meal, the offense, wonderfully. And I think everything is going to be handed to him. He's just got to make the most of it. And I think because of that, he probably won't find a head coaching job within 1 or 2 years, because a lot of teams are going to understand, well, this guy was given everything. But I think this works perfect because now he knows exactly what he has because he's been under Dable. And I think that's very dangerous for the offense. What's up, Jarrod?
Hi, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you for allowing me to participate this evening.
Welcome to Sunday Sessions, bro.
I know. I just got back from my little guy's first little T-ball game, and
Nice.
they're sponsored by Seneca Farms, so they get a free pass at Seneca Farms after every game. So it's ice cream for everybody.
There you go.
Wow.
Except
And it
for
was
us.
bath night and everything. I wish I brought some ice cream. If you haven't been to Penny and Seneca Farms, go there. They have great barbecue, great chicken, great ice cream.
Dude's
There you
doing
go.
he shows up a half hour late and he's doing a plug.
There you go. There you go. Bill's Kid says, "What's up?" Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Thanks, Chaz. Yeah, I can't wait. Speaking of Bill's Kid, guys, we have some super fans coming on the show next week, Tuesday, to talk about the schedule release. Jarrod, we won't get too much into that because we just talked about an offensive line with the acquisitions. We're talking about new players, whether it's draft or free agency, and with bringing in Saffold, Casenberry, Luke Tenuta from the draft. What are you thinking? Is this offensive line improved or what?
Oh, yeah. I think it has improved very much so. What's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks, months, and even before week 1 gets here is what the final 5 front is going to look like. And I think that's intriguing for a lot of Buffalo Bills fans. We had troubles last year trying to figure out the correct combination. A lot of injuries happened. We had to move people around, but we did find some gems in that moving around as with Bates and Booker and Swank's guy there, Spencer Brown.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be interesting to see what, the Ken Dorsey there, our new offensive coordinator, what he gathers and gets going, and also our new offensive line coach to see what combinations he can put together to see this offensive line become something that many fans might have thought was the missing piece of this high-powered offense was the offensive line. So I've said it before, and we've all said it before, that I think the run game is going to become more efficient It's going to be better quality rather than quantity. And I think that's going to open up flawless games from that offense, which we saw last year with that New England Patriots game where we had the perfect game offensively. Going to happen again next year? You never know, but I'm sure Josh Allen and that offense will get pretty damn close to it a couple times. So
Very good.
We got
let's see what the combination is.
We got our boy Kevin saying the O-line additions beg the question: do we become more run-oriented with the RB and limit Josh running the ball? And I think 100% yes, and I think that's the goal no matter what they did in this offseason. That's why I'm excited to see Cook in this backfield right now, and Devin Singletary, and these guys that are fast and athletic that can make things happen and maybe not have to make Josh take those big hits, right? We all wanted like a bigger guy.
Right.
But I think Cook's speedy enough, man, to where I'm happy with that. Either you got to be big or fast, and I think he's quick enough to do it.
Right. And I have a point to make on that when we get to the running back situation. But right now, let's finish up the line. Our left tackle, Deion Dawkins, David Casenberry, and Luke Tenuta, the rookie that we pulled out of Virginia Tech. And again, David Casenberry can be a guard as well. Left guard, right now, the starting lineup looks like Roger Saffold, Ike Balker, and Jacob Capra. Our centers, Mitch Morse and Greg Manzi, the guy they picked up free agency. He played for Miami. I think he's played for a couple other teams. Guys, this line is a big line. There's nobody under 300 pounds. Right guard, Ryan Bates, and Cody Ford will be his backup. And right tackle, Spencer Brown, Tommy Doyle, Bobby Hart, and Alec Anderson, a free agent undrafted that the Bills picked up. Great depth. I'm looking at great depth, and I'm looking at a lot of camaraderie there. And Saffold is a guy that's a captain that can come in along with Casenberry, who's experienced. So this line is definitely upgraded. How about we touch upon this tight end position? I think this was a big splash. Unfortunately for O.J. Howard, it was a big splash that didn't make quite the wake due to the fact that the Tide was recovering from the signing of Von Miller. And guys, we will be talking defense in 2 weeks, and we might have a special guest for that show, so stay tuned.
Very special.
Yes. But yeah, that O.J. Howard pickup. As far as free agency goes, the Bills did pick up O.J. Howard, and they did pick up in free agency undrafted Weidermeyer from Texas A&M. Talk about the O.J. Howard move and what you guys believe this means to the Bills offense. We talked about this line with running guards and running signings. What do you think about this tight end move? Swank, I know you're a huge fan of O.J. Howard.
I am, man. I've liked him ever since he was in college, which is surprising because I'm not a big college guy, you know. But when he was in Tampa, I don't know. I wanted him. I wanted him for the Bills bad. He was super sought after in that draft, and it didn't work out. And he went down there and he had Jameis Winston thrown to him, and then he got hurt. And then Tom Brady came to town with Gronk, and we've gone through this whole timeline a million times. I don't think that you've truly seen the potential of O.J. Howard yet. And I think that what the Bills have found here is something that is almost reminiscent of what the New England Patriots found 5 to 10 years ago with a really great tight end duo that can sneakily just take over games. If you have that safety
my notes.
net,
You're reading my notes.
Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page now. I'm finally catching up to you guys. But I mean, if you're looking, and I'm not trying to put the horse or the cart in front of the horse here, definitely the horse in front of the cart. Also, if you guys are playing 24/7 K-Gun Bingo, Jarrod likes to take his tumbler and make sure you can see his logo when he takes a sip.
What are you talking about?
I see him in the camera, like turning it so he.
You picked up on that quick, Spike.
Yeah, but I think, I talked about the run blocking possibilities with him early on. I think they're going to try and smoke screen him like that, but he is a threat on the field catching the ball, and I think that he hasn't shown that to his full potential yet. I think this is the perfect opportunity to come to Buffalo and be the best version of yourself, just like they always say about every player. I don't think he's going to take hardly any attention away from Dawson, but he's going to get his touches. And it's just one more big target for Josh Allen on the field. Like, it's one more guy you got to worry about besides the quarterback. Like, these 3 wide, 4 wide sets, like double tight end, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when there's 7 people on the field that can catch the ball? Like, realistically, right? Tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, like, and then you got a freak athlete like Josh Allen. Oh, man, I'm with Allen, man. Let's start this season right now. Like, it just
it's going to be crazy, Swank. And I'm right there with you. These tight ends are just going to add a different dynamic to this game that we probably haven't seen in a long time. Last year, at the beginning of last year's season, our take on what Dawson Knox's success would be, not in how many catches he made and not how many yards he had, but the percentage of catches he made and how he blocked. Guys, if our offense is as crazy as we think it's going to be, the number one guy we have to pay attention to is Josh Allen and his numbers, because everyone else underneath him, catching, running the ball, is all going to be – if Allen has a high touchdown percentage to interception percentage and high scoring percentage for that offense altogether is successful. You can't go by numbers this year. You know what I mean? I mean, Stephon Diggs might have the same season as he had last year, but all the other players, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, O.J. Howard, Cook, Devin Singletary, their numbers might not be, oh, look at 250 rushing attempts for 1,200 yards. They're not going to be that. They're going to be quality, efficient numbers, and it's just going to be a different kind of offense to see. It's going to be awesome.
Well, those are the kind of stats that you have to be appreciative of when it comes to winning organizations. It's not the all-pro. I had 2 all-pros on my team. Yeah, but did your team make the playoffs? No. You have to look at what – I love the fact that you're saying, Jarrod, quality, because there are so many weapons that Josh Allen has on this offense that you may very well see 5 people with 40 catches. That could happen. You know what I mean? He's going to spread the ball around. We know Josh likes to go with a hot hand, as we've seen the games with Isaiah McKenzie, that he gets involved. It's crazy to see Josh Allen. He doesn't necessarily stick to someone, but he can find ways to get those guys the ball because he knows they're hot. And that's why Josh Allen's numbers are so good all the time. But I'm a fan of O.J. Howard. And like you said, Jarrod and Swank, I think this might be his best year. I'm not talking numbers-wise. I'm talking about efficiency. He's going to be the tight end number 2, and he knows that coming to Buffalo. This poor son of a gun was drafted in 2016, and he was under an offense with Jameis Winston, who threw the crap out of the ball, but Winston didn't target the tight end at all. And when he did, it was Cameron Brate sometimes, and then O.J. Howard. He never lived up to his expectation because it was never offered. I don't think he was utilized correctly. And then he gets all excited for the oncoming of Tom Brady, and who comes out of retirement when Tom Brady joins the Buccaneers? Gronkowski. And I don't care who you are, 99% of the tight ends out there, you're going to lose your job to Gronkowski when he comes in. That's just the way it is. So not only does O.J. Howard have a chip on his shoulder, but he's coming in knowing his role. He's not going to be lambasted and surprised by anything. He knows his role in this Bills offense, and it's going to make him feel comfortable, and it's going to make that big 6'6" frame a red zone presence, and someone that if that offensive line can block the hell out of the defense and bring it in blitzes, he's going to be left wide open because you got Nick Knox, you got Gabriel Davis, you got Diggs, now you got Shakir, and now you got Crowder. This is going to be a good offense for O.J. Howard, and I just can't wait to see, without any of the pressure, how well he'll be able to perform for this offense.
And really fast, don't forget Paulette's cousin, Isaiah. She just typed that right as you were listing off all those wide receivers. And my boy's going to get some touches this year. I know he is.
We might as well go to wide receivers. So right now, Dawson Knox is our tight end. O.J. Howard, number 2. Tommy Sweeney, right now I have his number 3. Tommy Sweeney is another guy that he's going to get knocked. People don't think he should make the roster. He's not going to get the touches as a number 3. He hardly got the touches as number 2 just because Josh Allen doesn't depend on the tight end like that, and it's just not the way it is. So he's not going to get those touches. And some people say Weidermeyer is going to come in and give him a run for his money. I think those 3 are pretty set at tight end, to be honest with you. So Quentin Morris and Weidermeyer will end off the tight end situation. Wide receivers. Wide receivers. We have Stephon Diggs. He's all right. Gabriel Davis, the number 2 wide receiver. I have our slot And this is where the confusing part is. I thought Jamison Crowder was going to be the answer for Beasley. You go and look at Jamison Crowder's numbers. Not only is he younger, faster, I think he's a better route runner, but his yards after catch are pretty significant. And his numbers just show better. I know he played for the Jets, wasn't all that great. Well, he was good for the Jets, but the Jets didn't have any other options. But I think with the signing of our rookie, I think that's going to move Jamison around a little bit. Jake Kumaro, Isaiah McKenzie, Khalil Shakir, and then to end it off, we have Tanner, Isaiah Hodgins, Marquez Stevenson, and undrafted rookies, Paul, Corbin, and Williams. There's a lot of receivers there. We have a lot of depth. But what do you let's talk about the first guy that they brought in free agency in Jamison Crowder. What's your guys' take?
I love it. I think he's a younger version of Bees, without any of the whatever other things made Bees unappealing throughout his last couple months here in Buffalo, which I always loved Bees either way. It didn't really bother me. But I think all they did was upgrade that position, and I think that Crowder has a better run after the catch statistic than Bees did, especially in his older age. I don't know, man. I don't think that you declined at the position at all by signing him. And I know that you said Shakir was going to give him a run for his money, right? I don't know, man. I think Crowder was a staple in New York, and maybe he got overworked because he was the only option. But not for nothing, he smoked the Bills more than one game, you know. He's fast. He's got good hands. I think that he'll be damned if he doesn't make this starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. Before Beasley came to Buffalo, his numbers were okay with Dallas, right? So Beasley comes to Buffalo, and he has 2 career years in a row. Lots of catches. His yak might not be what everyone wanted it to, but if you look at the play calls, his yak wasn't there to be called for. And now we have Crowder.
Of third down conversions. Third down conversions.
It was a security blanket. Now you bring in Crowder, who has beaten the Buffalo Bills cornerbacks numerous times, running down the field crazy. Now add him with Allen. It's going to be something amazing. And the key factor to all this is Josh Allen. And there's always a comparison with running backs, like who's the greatest of all time? Who's the greatest receiver of all time? Who's the greatest this of all time? And a lot of the times it has to do with an individual going to a certain team or a certain quarterback or a certain scheme. I mean, Emmitt Smith, he's one of the greatest of all time. He's played for many years. He's a leading rusher in the league. But look what team he played on. He played on the biggest offensive line in NFL history. So it's like it all depends on who you're with. A lot of these players come into Buffalo. Who are you with? You're with Josh Allen. And Josh Allen's going to take you ultimately to where all Bills fans want to go, and that's to the championship game. So it's going to be – Beasley's going to be missed. Swank, we said it. We all liked him here. We all loved him here playing for the Bills, number 10 and 11. But Crowder coming in, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting to see what his numbers are, what his efficiency is going to be. Because, again, like I said, it's all going to be in quality, not quantity.
Our boy Paul Rossi says really quick, who is the starting return man? Will it be McKenzie, Shakir, or Stevenson? Those are the 3 options he's given us.
We will find out in preseason.
Well, what's your guess, man?
That's a safe answer, isn't it?
We will find out in the 3 games.
Watch the games, Paul.
The thing is, Jarrod doesn't want this clip to come back up in a couple months and be like, oh, I said Shakir, damn it. Dan O'Gorman isn't scared. He says Shakir, man.
That 4.43 40 is pretty fast. Isaiah McKenzie, he's got the dropsies. So I think the fact that Marquez Stevenson's there, Jamison Crowder's had kickoff returns, but he's had the dropsies. So I think it's going to be between Stevenson and Shakir, to be honest. And if Stevenson, I'm telling you guys, if he can get over those jitters and return like he knows he can, I think he's just got the nervous puppy thing where your body's starting to move faster than your feet. If Marquez Stevenson can figure it out, he will be very dangerous. Very dangerous. I think it's Stevenson's job to lose.
Well, I think, we've touched on it before. He just had a hard time, getting his feet under him that first year, I think. Hitting a hole, hitting it hard, who knows? It's been a season. It's been a year. You know, I think there's a strong possibility that he could come in and he could make a challenging competition for that position. And I'll say this, man, he got way more playing time last year than Isaiah Hodgins has the whole time he's been on this team. You know, and he's a training camp, practice squad hero. You always see little highlights of him. But Stevenson's the one that's made it on the field. So let's see what happens, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would if I was to say somebody to be the kick returner, I'd say Shakir. There's a lot of talent in that wide receiver room. And if one of the last receivers that you have on the team is or that to make that final 53 on Sundays is Shakir, I think that's a good thing. And I could see him being the kick returner, punt returner.
Guess we'll have to just watch the preseason game now, won't we, Jarrod?
We'll just have to watch the preseason. Dan Ochoa said, late to the show. I was too, Dan. Don't worry about it. Have you guys talked about Hughes and Addison yet?
Yeah.
We touched on it real quick. Addison went to the Texans a couple of weeks ago, I believe, a little over a month ago. And Jerry Hughes just signed with the Houston Texans. Texans made some moves at cornerback. They got Petrie, and I can't remember if it was one of the top ones. I can't remember, though. So they need veteran defensive players, and they got two good ones. They got two decent ones. Well, I wish them both the best, but it was just time for them to leave Buffalo, guys. We've got a young Bucks here at our defensive end position, and bringing in Von Miller, there was just no room for him. But congrats. He found a job, which I was worried about him. Or, some people would say he was run down, but I think he still got a little bit in his tank.
I heard a really cool stat about Jerry Hughes. He's the fourth leading sack holder in Buffalo. Yeah. He's been here 9 or 10 seasons now. And through the Marone years and the Rex years, he's actually one of 3 players that were left over from the Rex Ryan years. It's him. Well, it was him and Reed Ferguson, and I can't remember the other one. They were just talking about on the radio today. And bringing up an interesting topic, should he be in the ring? Does he
in the wall?
Yeah. Does he earn a spot on the wall?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Statistically, there's a lot of, I don't know. It'll be fun to talk about until something worth talking about comes up.
Well, Dana Gorham brings up a good worth talking about. Who gets cut from that wide receiver room?
See, right now I have Diggs, Gabriel Davis, and we could talk about Khalil Shakir here. I had Jamison Crowder and McKenzie being the slot wide receivers. I think Isaiah McKenzie is going to remain in the same kind of role he had last year. He'll be the opportunistic slot receiver that does the jet sweeps, all that stuff. I had Jamison Crowder being the number one guy there until they got Shakir. And my bold prediction, guys, right now is by midseason, Shakir will take over and Crowder will be Gabriel Davis's backup. But I do have Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Crowder, Kumaro, Shakir, McKenzie, and Marquez Stevenson being the 7, which means Tanner Gentry and Isaiah Hodgins. Unfortunately for Isaiah, with injury and not being able to make the roster very often, he will be a casualty.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, I would say so too. But there's a bottom 6 and 7 I think we're uncertain about, so it's going to be interesting to see what that fight is.
So to answer that ring of fire question, Swank, Bruce Smith is currently on the wall. Aaron Schobel and Phil Hansen have more sacks than Hughes did. So until one of those guys get on the wall, I don't see Hughes making it.
Well, I think there's a laundry list of guys. Reuben Brown, Kyle Williams. Yeah. There's a ton of people that have retired and been gone for a while that were huge parts of this.
Fred Jackson.
Yeah, you could make a case for Freddie. I'd love to see him. I'd love to see all those guys get on there because to me, those were like the drought heroes, him and Stevie and Fitzy. How do you say Fitzy and Freddie and Stevie made this team fun to watch when it was damn near no fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that means a lot to this city and this fan base, almost as much as, let's not get too crazy. Right now it's really awesome.
Do you think we can throw Brian Mormon in that mix?
Yeah, I love that.
Let's do that. Let's make it 4.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Williams, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of dudes that it was really easy to cheer for, but really hard to watch sometimes, you know?
Yep.
And not because of those guys. Like, those were the guys that made it watchable. It was like everything else around the team it was hard. Mostly coaching.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but it's interesting, man. It's just it was an interesting topic I heard him talking about. I definitely think Kyle deserves it before
For sure.
before Jerry. And I don't know. I think there's those like mid to late 90s guys, you know, like a Reuben Brown, man. That dude was a badass. And it would be a shame if people forgot how badass that dude was, you know, with all the new stuff churning up, and it's like whatever. And you got Kyle Williams, who's like a recent, you know, like fan favorite, but like Reuben Brown, dude.
Yeah.
I like how every time you say Reuben Brown, Swank, you're like, Reuben Brown. But yeah, number 79, that guy could move people. And yeah, I agree. He was a beast. He was a beast.
All right, guys, before we close off the receivers, I just named them all. One thing I do want to bring to your attention with Khalil Shakir, some people say he's a slot. He's wonderful at the slot, runs routes, amazing. But look at some film, him running the boundary. He's got the toe drag swag. He's able to go up and do one-handed catches. Great body movement in the air. He's able to adjust. He is 6 foot, 190 pounds, runs a 4.43 40. And he was drafted in the 5th round. Can anybody tell me anybody on that roster that looks exactly the same as far as those numbers go? Stephon Diggs. It's uncanny. I'm serious.
I'm glad you answered.
Stephon Diggs, 4.46 40. Shakir, 4.43. Both 5th round, 5 picks apart. Both 6 foot, both 190 pounds, and both can do their routes and move their body to catch the ball amazingly. Now, I'm not saying they're the same person, but I'm saying the similarities are uncanny, and just keep an eye out for Shakir. Guys, this was a steal in the 5th round. I'm telling you that right now.
And the best thing about our Buffalo Bills organization, unlike the Tennessee Titans quarterback over there, is that our guys are willing to mentor these people coming in. And that's what's going to be another fantastic thing to watch, is to watch these veterans sharpen that iron. And I'm glad we have who we have, and we got to give credit to Beane, McDermott, and everybody that's affiliated with bringing individuals in for this team and through free agency and all that, because they bring in good people. And Bills fans, you got to be proud of that too. Not only are we winning, but we're bringing class in, and that's a fantastic thing.
All right, let's move on to the next position. Guys, this guy I want to talk about. 3 carries, 3 yards. He had 3 catches for 23 yards last year. Our fullback, our H-back, our tight end, 4th, 5th, however you want to do it, Reggie Gilliam. The only reason I'm bringing him up, I want to touch on every position. Do you think with the addition of O.J. Howard, now Reggie only got like 13% of the snaps last year, is he going to increase in snaps or decrease in snaps with what potentially Ken Dorsey is bringing to this offense? Is he going to use the fullback, the power I, the I formation, any of that stuff? Make it quick.
That's my take.
Yeah.
Swank says he's cut. Okay.
I don't see there being room on the roster for him right now. Okay. I love him. I think he's a great player. I love the power I. I'd love to see Cook and Motor in the backfield with that dude, or whatever. Him and Cook and whoever. And maybe that's something that I know Cook is questionable about hitting holes and going uphill like that. And maybe it's something that would help him out. But I'm more interested in an I formation, like not a power I, like an athletic eye. Like I want to see Motor and Cook back there. I want
you want to see a pro set where they have the running back split and okay.
Yes, sir. I want
that's
either of those
look.
dudes to have the option of getting that ball. And if Reggie Gilliam's in there 13% of the time, 0.04% of the time he's getting the ball, and he's just a blocker they know.
Right, and I can see Knox, Howard, or Sweeney dropping back and becoming the H back. They can play that role pretty effectively, I believe.
Yeah,
Jarrod, you're a running back guy. Gilliam cut, or is he still on the roster?
Here's the thing about that Gilliam feller. He played tight end and fullback. He's a multi-positional guy. So, and I saw him on special teams a couple times too. So it's going to be one of those things we're going to wait to see. Wait till we'll have to watch preseason to see. No, but yeah. I ultimately, because he plays that fullback and tight end position, he might take that last spot in the tight end position. And I know Swank said cut, but if he makes a team, we're all going to vote for. We're all going to root for him. That's just how we are as Bills fans. So I'm hoping for the best for him. And again, because he is multi-talented, I think he makes the team.
Yeah, I mean, there is that multiple position aspect to him. I just think they are building a different beast right now, or tweaking a different beast. This isn't going to be last year's playoff team. It's not going to be the year before's playoff team. There's going to be a lot of the same elements, but they are trying to make a statement this year that they have not made before. And I think Reggie Gillen was a great part of that room and a great part of that plan when he was there. I just don't think that they can afford to utilize a roster spot 13% of the time the way they're doing it with them. I mean, if they change it up, fine, but I just don't see it happening.
It may be one of those situational things. Maybe one of those situational things. This week we're bringing 4 tight ends. This week we're bringing an extra tackle instead of a fullback. Or this week we're going to pound the ball. We need a fullback for that power I, that I formation. So it may be situational for sure.
Great take, Swank. Yeah, I agree with you on that part. But I'm a fullback guy, so I'm hoping I like Gilliam.
Oh yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes.
It's a fantastic take. I mean, to not think that the Buffalo Bills offense is creating a beast over there, a juggernaut, is foolish if you're not thinking that. And that's exactly where all these pieces are lining up, is to, you can make your defense better in the offseason, but you still have to keep up with the Buffalo Bills. And this Buffalo Bills is bringing something hot. And if you can't keep up, then you're going to be behind. So, yeah, I get it. I get that.
All right, guys, we have 2 positions to talk about. So we just finished off the tight end, correct? No, the fullback. Okay.
Yeah.
We got the quarterback and the running back. I'm saving the running back for last because I think the Bills drafted one of the most dynamic running backs in the draft. So we'll touch on that last.
That's smart, man, because you're keeping everybody here. They all want to be they've been talking about running back this whole time we've been discussing the offense. So I like this. Yeah, it's good.
Tony's here. Hey, Tony, what's happening?
Up, Tony?
Hello, Tone.
What's up? Hey, guys. Tony, I hate to throw you under the bus, but Tony was an avid Miami Dolphin lover. I mean, the Marino days, the Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, all those guys. And I think years of me and Jarrod tormenting him being Bills fans, he finally I gave him a jersey last year and he wears it all the time.
You're talking about Tony Benamino. We're talking about Tony Yano.
Oh, what's up, Tony Yano?
Tony Yano's been a Bills fan, I think.
Yeah, he's been a Bills fan all along. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up, Tony Yano? Sorry, you said Tony. I don't have the screen up. So, Tony.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey, Tony. Quarterback, Josh Allen, and the 2 guys we signed. Now, I'm not going to say he's the Mitch Trubisky of our free agency pickup, but we picked up a hell of a quarterback in Case Keenum. The guy's a winner, okay? There's a few things. I'll touch on him first, guys. I'm not going to touch on him. He's an experienced quarterback. He's made the playoffs. He's had winning seasons. He's got a rapport with Stephon Diggs. We just lost Jarrod.
Bye, Jarrod. Thanks for showing up.
And arguably, for real, Swank, we can say yet again, I know it's a joke that we had running last year. It could be the same case this year. Guys, do we have the number 2 back? Do we have the second best quarterback in the AFC East on our roster? What do you think, Swank?
Yeah, no, I'll go I'll go through that for sure. No, I think so. Is he better than Teddy?
Yeah.
So let's rank all the AFC East quarterbacks that we know right now. I'm not talking about the Jets backup, but let's rank everyone we know in the AFC East. Number one, Josh Allen, right?
Duh.
Across the board. I would dare to say Teddy Bridgewater next.
Okay, the backup for Miami.
Backup for Miami. Point. And then I would say Case Keenum. 100%. Then
is it Zach or Tua? I got to say Zach. Barkley. I'm going Zach.
Matt Barkley.
Oh, there you go.
So now this is getting real disrespectful to Patriots fans. You got to be real careful.
Oh, I forgot he was even there.
Macaroni's in there, bro. But I'm still going to do it. I'm going to say Tua is better than Mac. I think Mac just has a better system to play in. Or at least they're like equals. I'll give it to Mac because he made it to the playoffs. How about that? Is that fair?
Okay.
All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. So then I would say I actually think it's Zach Tua.
Okay, I agree.
And then whoever
I
else.
actually gonna flip Tua with Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is the bottom, then Tua, then Zach Wilson, because I don't think Mac Jones is all that in a bag of chips. I really don't.
No, he's not.
All right. And Matt Barkley.
Yeah.
Matt Barkley, I believe, guys, is going to be the guy that if COVID comes around again and shows his reary head, he'll be that safety. He'll be that guy that doesn't attend the meetings that will be available for games just in case shit hits the fan.
Tony says, "LOL, what up, guys? I've definitely never been to Miami."
I knew that.
Yeah,
I got you.
that was
Tony.
Tony Benamich.
Obviously, we know Josh Allen's number one, but Swank, you brought up a great point. Bridgewater, right? I think he's number two, and I know you'll piss a lot of people off when saying that Case Keenum's number three, but guys, got to remember, I'm looking at my notes. Buffalo Spartan, is he here? Is he even here? Buffalo Spartan?
I haven't seen him yet tonight. No.
He'll catch you later. In 2017, he went 13-3, 3,500 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, led the Minnesota Vikings to a playoff game. So he is very good talent back there, and experience goes a long way too. So Case Keenum's number three, and then I would have to say Tua, Wilson, Mac Jones.
Nice. I love the disrespect for Mac Jones. I love Case Keenum. I think that he is one of those journeyman guys. He's like a Fitzpatrick for me, but maybe with, dare I say, a little more consistent play. He is like that true like average quarterback to me. He's been in a lot of systems. He's been successful in a lot of those systems. He's got, people are bringing up the Minnesota Miracle and that he's got a relationship with Diggs. I think that you are absolutely fooling yourself if that isn't something that Beane considers, right?
Right.
Bringing in Mitch Trubisky last year where he needed a reset. Now he's a starting quarterback, just like everybody predicted, right? He's going to make a strong reset in Buffalo, come in and do what they asked him to do, which was like hardly anything, but had a rushing touchdown, had a couple nice balls, handed it off, took a knee, made sure Josh didn't get clobbered in unnecessary garbage time. Did his job, did it well. It was maybe a little boring for him, but absolutely what he needed.
He knew what he was getting into, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Case Keenum's coming in here. He's not looking for that. He's just looking for a ring at this point, right? And he's the kind of guy that can sit behind the bench and he can win you. I say it all the time, man. 50% of the games. If your backup can win you 50% of the games, and with this team, you're winning 75. If you have the experience Case Keenum has and you're not winning 75% of the games, sit your ass down and get Matt Barkley in there. Because, I think this is just, it's too special. It's too smart. It's another home run. I mean, I think once you get into that, glamorous, angel, being that Brandon Beane is right now, can he do any wrong? Can he do any wrong right now? I just, it's a great signing. And if you would have asked me if Rex Ryan did it, I would have been like, that idiot. But it is. It's a genius. It's a genius move.
Couple comments here. Mike Vogt says, I put Keenum above Bridgewater. Kevin Kenya says, Case is better than Bridgewater.
Yep.
A good one here. Dana Gorham said, Matt Barkley is here to keep Josh Allen calm, which is a great part of the game if you think about it. Mike Vogt, Allen, Keenum, Barkley, Tua, Wilson, Mac, toilet water. Oh, gosh.
Love it. Love it.
But what a great point to keep him calm, right? Because, Josh Allen's a very high tempo, high beat guy. And then that's what Barkley did. And when he was here, and that's Case Keenum can do it, and Barkley can do it as well. And it's a great take. I love that take.
That's a fun quarterback room. I'm telling you that much for free. That's going to be a wealth of knowledge for sure. With Case Keenum's experience, Matt Barkley's been a journeyman forever. That's going to be an awesome room. What's so funny, Swank?
Jarrod with his tumbler, man.
I see in the corner of my eye you laughing. All right, guys. Now you all want to talk about running back, and rightfully so. The Ken Dorsey effect, like I mentioned earlier, we have no idea what kind of offense he's going to run. There's no film on him. There's nothing for these defensive coordinators to study. And then in the draft with the 63rd pick, we backed up twice to pick James Cook. But before that, I want to say, let's remember the Bills in free agency went after J.D. McKissick, a receiving running back with speed and understood the pass rush and was able to make catches out of the backfield. Then they went ahead and signed Duke Johnson, who played for the Cleveland Browns and last the Miami Dolphins. Same kind of player, a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield, known for that, understands the passing blocking scheme, and is a threat out of the backfield. They go and grab James Cook, arguably the number one receiving running back in the draft. And I'm going to say arguably, he definitely is. And I'm going to say this right now. I know Bills fans wanted Breece Hall. They wanted a Walker III from Michigan State. They wanted Isaiah Spiller. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I haven't talked to Beane yet about this pick. But I'm pretty sure this may have been the number one guy on their running back list due to the fact that the other two guys they went ahead and went after in free agency. They're not going after the guy that's going to tote the ball 250 times a game in Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. They're not. They wanted to go after a guy that could catch the ball out of the backfield, who can line up at slot, who can catch a screen, who can line up in the boundary and make this offense even better than it was last year. And I'm telling you, I think James Cook was their number one on the board, and they were able to steal him by backing up and getting a couple 6th-round draft picks to trade up and get better players. So I'm excited about James Cook. I'll talk about a little bit more later, but I want you guys to touch on this James Cook pick.
Really quick, Dan O'Gorman wanted to know, can Cook pass block?
That's the question. And Go ahead.
From what I've heard, he's average at pass blocking, but that's another thing that I said earlier today is iron sharpen iron. And I know we say that a lot. He's got two guys to learn from, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, with pass blocking. And if you go back and look at the games, whenever they're Zach Moss or Devin Singletary in the backfield during the pass blocking, that is not as simple as going to the right or left. You got to read things. You see them crossing the backfield, and that's a crazy attribute that sometimes it's just there. It's hard to learn, and it's something that Zach Moss and Singletary know they have it. So hopefully they can teach this young man how to do it. If they can, he's going to be a dangerous guy. But if they can't, he's still a dangerous. If you see him in the backfield, you know they're going to be passing, and that's 5 or 6 receivers that you're going to have to cover. So, it'd be an added attribute if he can block, but he's got good guys to learn from, and we'll just see where it takes us.
The Georgia Bulldogs run a pro-style offense. That's why the Bills were so interested in Fromm when they brought him in. So I saw some film. James Cook can block, although many times he was used in the passing game. So it's not like he was in there to hang out to help out the quarterbacks at that time. But James Cook wasn't even a starting running back there, guys. Zamir White was there, and he went to Oakland Raiders. The guy has 230 total carries in 4 years. He played all 4 years in college. 230 total carries. So he's got fresh legs. He's got fresh everything. And I don't think the Bills would have drafted him in the 2nd round if they didn't know he could block.
Right.
I think there's like a certain pedigree in that family name, right? I think he grew up playing football with his brother. I think he goes down and he trains with pros. He has ever since he started running in college, right? He's been surrounded by pros, guys that know how to play, guys that know how to act. And I know people were like a little turned off when he got drafted with his like the look he had on his face with the hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought he was just wasted. But it was definitely a mean mug, man. It was definitely like
business.
This is going to happen. And then I started watching footage on him. My old man actually just popped in. "What's up, Dad?" He said, "Hey, guys, he seems like a Marshall Faulk type of guy to me."
Love to hear that.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah. See, that's
Well,
right. My dad with the hot take of the night. But, yeah, I mean, I think that he's going to come in here and do whatever you want him to do. And he's going to do it with an edge and a chip on his shoulder. And to that point of, like, if he's in the backfield, it's a pass. I don't think so, man. Because I've seen the footage of him hitting outside holes and cutting on a dime, like somebody else we used to know, and making stuff happen. But he seems like an explosive, physical, I'm getting there, I don't care, by any means necessary kind of running back. And we need that kind of edgy attitude, I think, in the backfield. I think that's missing. I think Motor is like, he's a proven, I'm going to do what I need to do kind of guy. But his personality is a little more boppy, a little more upbeat, a little more, come on, guys, like a puppy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think Cook's going to come in here and lay down the law. I threw a little comment out to the Fandemonium, who's most likely to get left out of this RB room at the end of the season here, end of the off season. We got a lot of Mosses coming out.
Yes, I'm glad that I was going to have two questions with this running backfield, because I honestly would love to hear everyone's opinion on this. And one of them was who do you think the Bills are going to leave behind? I have my own theories behind it, but Swank, go ahead. I know you started the question. What are you thinking, bud?
Yeah, I think Zach Moss for sure. It bums me out because I think body type wise and style of play, I would like to have a bigger body there. I'd like to have a bruiser. I'd like to have somebody that was physically capable of taking away those short 3rd and half a yard, 4th and 1 kind of runs away from Josh Allen just to preserve his body. But in the same time in the game, I want Josh to have the ball. So, I go back and forth on that, but I don't think Moss can be productive enough outside of these other guys to make a difference. I think between Motor and Cook and Duke Johnson, those are your guys. And you're going to have Taiwan for special teams, and that's great. But I think Zach Moss he's looking for a new job here real quick.
Mm.
So here's something to think about really quick. We brought Duke Johnson in because he's a receiving running back, right? He does well there. We just brought in Cook, who's a receiving running back. So I know they just signed Duke this offseason in free agency, but they also have Cook coming in. Therefore, I see Moss still making the team. So they replaced that with their draft pick. And I don't know if that was somebody they were eyeballing just in case. But right now I see Singletary, Cook, Moss, and Taiwan Jones. And I think, unfortunately, Duke Johnson might be the guy that is week to week because they brought Cook in. He's that receiving running back out of the backfield. And I know experience carries you a long way, but Cook coming in, Zach Moss is still – he came in beefier this year. And it's just we'll have to watch the preseason.
Well, Jarrod, looks are deceiving. Zach Moss is 5'9", 205 pounds. Duke Johnson is actually 5'9", 210 pounds. He's bigger than Zach Moss. But I know I'm with you with what I'm feeling you say is the fact that with those 3 running backs, they're all like running backs. They all are similar in their attributes. I think Zach Moss brings that heavy helmet. He brings the short yard carries. He brings that difference. I think with our boosted offensive line, I think with the addition of O.J. Howard, I do believe our offensive front 7 potentially could be better, they could utilize Zach Moss in the short yardage and the goal lines, I think, more often that way. And that's why I see them keeping Zach Moss. He's got 2 years on his contract. And the best thing Beane can do, excuse me, is prove that Zach Moss is a 50 carry a year, ground and pound, get 5 yards a carry kind of running back where they can trade him next year, Duke Johnson was someone they grabbed, but I think, like you said, James Cook is someone that replaced that Duke Johnson. I would love to see Duke Johnson out there, but I do see Zach Moss as being that different kind of running back that can bring something else to the table. We haven't seen it yet, but with injury with his ankle and all that stuff, I think he'll come in with a chip on his shoulder. So I see Singletary, Cook, and Moss and Taiwan Jones.
Wow, changing boats midstream. I'm staying steadfast, man. Moss is gone. I really liked your point because we've used that argument for Motor, right? Motor didn't turn it on halfway through the season. The line got figured out better halfway through the season, and he had a
Right.
more productive year because also the play calls were better and the line was clicking. And I think that's a super interesting point that Moss could have better opportunities. Maybe he's a put your head down back. We had somebody who just asked that. Joey Hatch said, do you think Moss just had a down year because he was coming back off an ankle injury? Good point. These are all very good points. But you negated what I thought were all good points by telling me that Duke Johnson is 1 pound heavier in the same height. Duke Johnson has the proven games. He's been a journeyman, sure, and lost a starting job here and there, but I think has more snaps and therefore is more of a likely candidate to produce on this offense right away than the project Zach Moss has. The thing about
Swank, can I do anything to help you lean that the other way? Duke Johnson's on a 1-year contract over $1 million. Zach Moss is still on his rookie contract making minimal. So Zach Moss for 2 years costs the same amount Duke Johnson will for 1.
I mean, I think Duke still has enough left in the tank too, right? I mean, I ideally in an ideal world I would,
because next year you'll still be looking for a running back if they keep Duke.
Experience goes a long way, though.
Or you're putting him on another short contract, right?
True.
I mean, if he's a third down back and he's producing, it'll be really interesting.
With the understanding of his role, yes, I hear you.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I think in
Being
training,
Go ahead, Swank.
I think in training camp, you're going to see those two dudes are going to battle it out, and the better man's going to win. And I'll eat crow, man. I want Moss to come out. I loved him when we got him. I thought he had a great rookie season for what it was. It sucked he got hurt, the fumble and all that other crap and whatever. I mean, I think that there's potential there. I don't want him to fail, but I've always liked Duke Johnson. I've always liked him. I always thought he was underrated. I always thought he got, the short end of the stick. I don't know why the Browns ever got rid of him. Oh, I guess
because Browns are ridiculous.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's true too. But it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be one of those things that I think people are going to be glued to because Cook automatically knocked one of those two dudes out of the locker room. Automatically, as soon as he got drafted. I mean, unless he comes and he's a total piece of garbage, Jamal Russell kind of thing, right? Other than that, one of those two dudes are gone.
Yep.
So,
Swank and Scott.
Jared, real quick.
This is a crazy problem to have, isn't it?
Real quick, Jared. It is like I want this comment to come up. The Charlotte Zweimer comment. Swank, do you see it?
Yeah, I got you. Johnson
will go first half until Cook gets acclimated. They don't play rookies unless forced. I love that take, and that may be potentially the reason why Moss is gone and Johnson's there. Also, Charlotte, the winner of the Gabe Davis helmet that went out yesterday, it's Monday, so that should be with you either Thursday or Friday.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry, Jared.
Congratulations.
You showed up late,
Charlotte.
so I'm trumping you. I'm the host.
No. Listen, this is
Default
a different
host.
approach I have because I love sitting back. Scott, you can be the host every night. This is fun to sit back and not have to push questions and stuff like that. I'm having
Listen,
a great
I want
night.
one of you two to take over my job one night, and I'll just sit back and host. How about that?
You'll have just a blank screen.
We're
All I hear is voices. I don't see anybody.
hands-free drinking our beer. Swank's like,
Just call in. It'll just be on a phone. You have to call a party line.
No, but to get back to what I just said moments ago is I think I said this last year at this time. We're in a good situation where we can argue players back and forth, and then they're all good. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love this back and forth, and I'm seeing the pandemonium going back and forth too, and it's just it's a great thing. Great thing.
that's the
Good
point you
problem
had
to
to
have.
make.
It's a good problem to have. Who do we want to keep?
I think where he was going was that, like, look at it a couple years ago, what this show would have been, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't exist
Yep.
before 3 seasons, but, like, if you were here during the Rex Ryan era, you wouldn't be arguing about who the fourth string quarter or running back was going to be.
Very true.
And
Very
like
true.
as passionately as we do it, you'd be talking about like, what the hell are we going to do to get to 500?
How can we do this?
Yeah. So I mean, we say it all the time, and it was a great time to bring it back up, Jarrod. Enjoy this time. Enjoy right now. It never gets any better than right now until we're hoisting a trophy. So be excited, be stoked that like we're talking about a rookie running back who probably will have limited touches, pushing out another running back who probably is going to have limited touches.
Okay. Very good, guys. Very good. Are we counting a punter as an offensive player or defensive player, Jarrod?
It's defense. Isn't
Punter, offense or defensive player? He's defense.
Okay. So
That's
concludes.
funny because he plays on offense, though. He plays the fourth down snap.
But we're
He's a
transitioning.
field changer.
Yeah. So.
Kicker could be offense. Punter's defense.
Well, there's a lot of defenders to talk about.
Unless you're Brian Mormon and runs a 4.5 then he can be offense because he can run up the field.
So Brian Mormon runs a 4.5 How fast was Brian Mormon?
He's quick. Not as quick as Bryman. Definitely not as quick as Bryman.
Who was faster, Bryman or Brian? No, I'm kidding, Jarrod. No, guys, Pandemonium. That was the offensive take as far as our acquisitions this year. The Buffalo Bills did a great job. I know all of us believe it. We are homers, but we understand what's happening in this front office, and they're making all great moves. We do have a little bit of money available, and I think potentially there might be some cornerback talk in the free agency, the second half of free agency coming in the next couple of weeks. But we will talk about the defense in 2 weeks. That's a May 24th episode. The event's already up there, so don't be afraid to join it. And we might have a very special guest or 2 or 3 on. Ooh. You never know. But we have a lot of pickups to talk about as far as that defense. The reason we're skipping a week is because next week we're going to talk about the schedule. That's going to drop in 2 days on May 12th. We already know we're going to have that Tuesday and Monday night home matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Go ahead, Jarrod.
I thought there was a rumor about a week 1 primetime game too. Did you guys hear about this?
That's rumor. We're going with facts right now. The facts are that we do have that
week 2 Tennessee Titans.
This dude shows up late and now he wants to go retreading over rumors.
Rumor has it that the Bills are going to play all 17 games this year.
My grandma told me that.
Dan Marino's coming back and they're going to play the Miami Dolphins.
The NFL Almanac is suggesting that the Bills will play 6 divisional playoff. But the reason we're skipping a week is because, like I said, the schedule comes out in 2 days. We will be talking about that next Tuesday, 8:00, the K-Gun Report. But we will have a handful of guests with us, the super fans. If you guys haven't checked them out, Lady Bills, Buffalo Spartan, Bills Hawk, Bills Jason, there's a whole bunch out there that are on Facebook. And, they're going to be joining us next week to have that discussion about the schedule. I also want to throw this out there. They are part of Shout for a Cause, Inc., a charity for charities. They actually raise money and stuff for other charities. It's a wonderful thing. Their big thing right now has to do with Pancho Villa. So check them out. Right? Yep. Shout for a Cause, Inc. They have their own Facebook page too. Go check them out. And we have some special things planned for the month of September that we're going to drop on you, I think, in a couple weeks here. So keep an eye out for that. We like to end the show with final thoughts. Basically, have at it, Swank and Jarrod. I'll start off with Swank first, since Jarrod showed up late. He can do it last.
He'll have the final thought.
The final thought.
No. You guys arguing over who's hosting. That's my favorite part of tonight, I think.
I actually liked it.
Role reversal.
Whip it.
Great show. Loved every minute of it. We had some really great participation. We got a pretty high viewer count still going on here. The comments are great. You guys are great. I think that we definitely need to put out a poll on whether a punter should be considered offense or defense. I know it's special teams, but if you have to draw that line, I think there's a lot of good arguments going on in these comments for either way. And if a punter, because he's the last play switching over possession, is considered a defensive player, a quarterback throwing an interception should also be considered a defensive player. Right?
Depending on where it is.
Only if you're Jameis Winston in 2018 where he threw 29 interceptions.
Quick shout out to Eric Merkley, first time watcher, I think. Welcome, Eric.
What up, Merk? I just saw him the other night.
What's up, Merkley? Welcome.
Hey, thanks for hijacking my final thought. Old Jarrod late to the show. Jeez. I can't believe this. Anyway, you can check us out every Tuesday on the K-Gun Report. I don't know. We're probably going to cool it on the Sunday shows until it gets a little closer to the season. Is that right, Scott?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you can hang out, catch us here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8:15, I think, next week. Is that correct, Jarrod?
8 o'clock should be next week, but 8:15 the following week.
Okay. So, but you'll be joining us by 8:45?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You can catch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're live at 8 p.m. on all of those platforms. Also, if you go to our Instagram, and I threw the link up in our comments, we have a new link tree that has all of our stuff, every social media thing, all of our Twitter handles.
Throw it up there one
YouTube
more time,
channels, all that stuff. You guys, come hang out. Follow us everywhere you can. Don't forget about the Rager. We're going to have a good old time down there. Let me just get that. And I got the, if you're in Facebook, that link's right there right now. And, yeah. Man, I love doing this. I love doing this with you guys. It's a great time. So, go Bills, go Jarrod.
I would like to thank everybody. No, to be honest with you, I came in late tonight because I had a little prior engagements with a little baseball player. He's growing up quick, so I got to take advantage of watching him do things. But when I came in, you guys took me in. I wasn't the host tonight, which Scott, I think I'm going to have you take over that. But it was fucking sweet just to sit back and relax.
Yo, listen,
but I know
listen, whoa, time out. I'm going to hijack yours now. It's not automatically going to Scott. There has been a cry from the masses for Swank to host a show. I've been sitting here producing for a long time. And I'll tell you what, man.
Host and producer. There you go.
I will challenge you, brother, to
challenge accepted
of hosting the K-Gun. I also don't like how you just gave it up like so easy right there, Jarrod. Where's your fighting spirit, man? Mm-hmm. We're going to have a talk about this, mister. Mm-hmm. All right, continue.
Pandemonium, as always, showing up. And it was like, I know the answer to a lot of the questions that we have, and that's freaking sweet. But the thing I like the best is the connection and that they have with one another. We don't even need to have a show. We just can have this going with music in the background, and the Pandemonium will still participate and talk back and forth to each other. So that's awesome. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And, the season can't come soon enough so we can get more into it. But I just want to thank the Pandemonium for participating. And we'll see you all next week for the schedule show. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody thinks of what game they want to go to, what's their favorite game to see, whether they're most looking forward to. So that's going to be next week. And, man, I have fun every Tuesday night, guys, and I thank you. That's it. Go Bills.
Thank you, you two. And I'll remind everybody, May 12th is going to be the schedule drop. I can tell you this much for free. When that schedule drops, the three of us will be getting together and figuring out what game we will be attending. And I can speak for myself as well as these two guys. We would love to hang out with every single one of you at these games. So we will let you know what game probably we'll be attending for sure, because we like to hit up one of the early ones. And we usually go to Bert's Bikes. Have a good time. It's paved. It's nice. The weather's awesome. And we make our way up to Hammerlot, and we make our way to the Superfans tent. But, man, to see you guys put a face to the names and to have a conversation with you guys would be ideal. That would be wonderful.
I'm going to tell you something really fast. We're definitely hitting a good weather game. But I am not missing a playoff game this year. If they go, man. I am not missing one. It's been 2 years. I'm over it. I could have went to the Bengals game.
No doubt. I had tickets lined up for the Bengals Bills game.
But I am going. That is like bucket list thing for me. I think no bullshit. We've all earned it as fans to see that live somewhere for the Bills to play a playoff game. So. Yeah, my buddy's got seasons. That's actually a goal behind the scenes at 24/7 is for us to get 3 seats somewhere someday. Have this be able to provide for it, and hopefully in the next year or two that happens, man. It'd be awesome. But until then, yeah, I'm all about going to as many games as I can, I think.
Well, Swank, you're right. One of our goals that we don't talk about is to be season ticket holders, the three of us. And as the fandemonium is aware, we can't make every game, and you know how giving we are. So you know exactly where some of those tickets are going to go. And,
That's
to be able to go to whatever game we want to go and to share with you guys, the guys that keep us busy on Tuesdays, would be the best opportunity for us, would be ideal. And so that's one of our goals. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. That definitely is something that would be sweet. I do want a lot of changes happening in Buffalo. We're talking about these offensive and defensive acquisitions because it's a changing concept every year, and we love to discuss how potentially the Bills can get better. The big thing is Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey is a guy that's coached under Dable. We have no film on him. We have nothing on him, which is going to be an advantage for Buffalo. The Bills played the 11 personnel 70% of the time last year. They brought in running guards. They brought in a running tackle in the draft. They brought in another running back. Who knows what these offenses are going to look like now? And the guys, you got to be excited for it. Regardless what you hear in camps and preseason, they're not going to give a lot. This home opener, whether it's home or away, is going to be freaking awesome, and we can't wait. And the reason I'm telling you that is because that schedule drops in 2 days, and I am pumped. Fandemonium, we love you guys. That is a fun poll. We will be putting out a poll asking whether you think a punter is a defensive and offensive player. Check us out on Twitter. That'll be on there as well as the Facebook page. But I can't say it enough. We love you guys, and we look forward to talking to you every Tuesday night. And on that, cheers and go Bills.
Hell yeah.
Go Bills.
Oh, is this it? We're done? Go Bills!
This is a dangerous group.